Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the pre-match build-up for Manchester United versus Brighton, also known as the bogey team. Southampton battered us for 80 minutes. Ahmad decided to go God mode. Will we need another hero today? Who will be that hero? Let's find out the starting 11 very quickly. Let me switch. So, Onana starts in net. Yoro maintains his place despite a very rough patch, let's just say, against Slimani and Southampton. He keeps his team. Amarin keeping confidence in him. De Ligt and Maguire are the other two central halves, so we'll try to kind of pick out who's going to be the central one and who's going to be the left-sided centre half. We have Mezraoui back at right wing-back, Mainu and Ugarte in the middle of the pack. Dallo returns from his suspension, and then Ahmad, Xerxes, and Bruno Fernandes as your front three. Dan, kick us off with the back three first. Are you surprised Yoro's starting again, given the performance against Southampton?
No, I think I'm not that surprised because you know that at some point he has to start regularly, and I think he has already got a lot of minutes and he has shown like what he has done. But I know that he has struggled a lot in the previous games, marking the player and it was just the other side of Euro. But I hope that just one of that odd games of a particular player, whenever he comes in and he has that bad form for a few games, I hope that's the one. But we have seen the strengths of his. We cannot just decide his, whole career Manchester United career based upon that last game. But we know that what he's capable of and what he has shown, the pace and the agility, the defense, the mindset, everything is there in him. So he just needs a few game time. Couple of games regularly, and he'll be up for it. I'm sure of that because you have seen everything in him. But then you know that since you have bought in him with the thought that he's going to be the future, regular centre back for United, then why not just put your money on him? And when there are so many games, you don't have much options to, just to hold back. You cannot just depend on the previous game form and decide the players, especially with the centre backs, the number of count we have. The count of centre backs we have at the minute. But yeah, you know that as a young centre back against a team like Southampton, you can give him a chance just to prepare him for the future games. But yeah, I'm fine with that. But yeah, the only thing is, as you mentioned about who will be playing the central role. But I think if considering both the players, I would prefer Maguire at the center of it than De Ligt, because I believe De Ligt is little bit quicker than Maguire, so that's why I wanted to play him on the left hand side of the defense line. So yeah, and Maguire, you know that when he's playing central, every time he's on the beast mode in this season. So I think that he can control the game very well from there. So that's what I'm confident with the defense line there we have. It's nothing to much worry about.
Interesting, because we know they do have some tricky players in those areas, Shreyas. I've not seen Brighton's team yet. I'll double check that in a moment. But regardless of whether it's Minto, whether it's Matoma, you can take your pick, João Pedro. They're all tricky players, 1v1 as well, aren't they, in those kind of areas? So are you comfortable with that back three?
I think, look, Maguire hasn't really put a foot wrong. He's actually been he's been solid every single time that he's played for us in that back line. You look at De Ligt, he's been getting better and better. And I think in the duration that he was out, we really missed him in that back line. And now that he's come back, it looks more solidified. And with Euro, I think it's got more to do with getting him regular minutes. Yeah. He's had some very good cameos. He's had some very promising, I would say, moments in games, whether it's the Liverpool game, whether it's the Arsenal game. So against Southampton, against a player like Sulemana, I think it was bound to happen. Whether it was Southampton, maybe it was another game, maybe it had to be a game against City or something. But you expect this to happen from a youngster who's just moved to the Prem and is just getting some minutes in. And in a way, it's good that it happened against a team like Southampton, because now he can prepare himself up for more versatile attackers like the players you've just mentioned. Mitoma will be the one who he'll be handling for most of the day. And Mitoma is a very tricky winger. He's got the pace, he's got the technique with his feet, and he's also very good when it comes to, moving around the box. So it will be a good battle and good challenge for him. But I think today, it will be a much better outing for him. Just because of the way he carries himself, just because of the way I've seen him up until now. I think he's a player who is able to, learn from his mistakes and get better and better after actually, working on from a not so great game. So personally, I think the back line would be able to hold itself. I think it's only the front line where I'm a bit concerned.
Yeah. And also as well, you always have, I mean, I don't know, every defender kind of has a kryptonite, don't they? We mentioned in the post-match for Southampton, Nemanja Vidic, who's obviously the level he was at that time is completely different to what Euro was at, but his kryptonite was always Fernando Torres, wasn't it? Anytime we played him, he was just running off him, just causing him absolute problems, even though Vidic was a world-class defender. So you have your moments. The thing I'm interested to see today is that it doesn't have another moment, because that's when the cracks start to show, and that's when you think, oh, actually, he's got a lot of work to be done, because we're all regarding him as this world-class kind of up-and-coming talent and has huge potential and all these kind of things. Confidence is another thing in football in terms of mentality and focus to kind of go into that next game and kind of put your mistakes wrong. If he does that, then it's kind of like, okay, if he has a really tough test again against Matoma or whoever it is, I'd be interested to see how he reacts to that confidence-wise. But that back three, I'm actually surprised to not see Lissandro, to be fair. I think that's the first time we haven't seen Dan Lissandro in the back line for a while, isn't it?
Yeah, I think could be because of giving him some rest at least for some time. But yeah, we have been so much dependent on Lisandro Martinez, and rightly so. He is his performance wise as well. He just gives that confidence in the back line whenever he's there. You know that he's been rock solid. But yeah, in this season he has been bits and pieces here and there. He has struggled, but that could be because of the change in the formation. But yeah, he was gelling in well. And he was kind of a leader he's kind of a leader in the back line, and definitely we'll miss him. But definitely we cannot play him like all the 50 games a season. So that's where we have to, cope up without. We should also learn to play without Lisandro Martinez. So that will develop a team which is not dependent on single players. And when you have so many center backs and you have to be equally distributed that pressure. So that's where I think it's kind of a good, that team should also learn learn playing without these kind of star players whom we have dependent all along the season. But yeah, he has, whenever he comes on, that whenever he's there, that the opponent will find it difficult to score goals. But yeah, definitely with the incoming games as well, with the Europa League coming in, so you need the rotation on the back line as well. So because the games are coming quick and fast, and you need all your players and just to distribute that pressure and the stamina wise. So I'm not that much concerned with it, but yeah, you need to split that dependency on the players at the back line.
Is there enough rotation though, Shreyas? You think? I'm talking not like individuals in terms of like per game. Are they? Because it's a fine balance in it, trying to get keep legs and energy in the side, but then not kind of depreciating the quality too much.
Yeah, look, I think when it comes to the defensive department, the centre backs line, I think there is still good enough rotation in games, and from game to game as well, I would say, because we see Maguire getting subbed off around the 70 or 75th minute mark a lot of times, and you see Euro getting minutes there. Sometimes it's Lisandro getting hurt, sometimes it is Mazraoui shifting as to a centre back and Malacia coming on. So they're able to accommodate it quite well when it comes to the that centre back line. With the wing backs, there isn't much that you can really do, because Mazraoui is going, whether we like it or not, and I hope that Mazraoui is able to keep on with the same intensity as we move into the deeper stages of the season. But Mazraoui and Dalot are going to be pretty much playing every single game until we actually get even someone who can actually take that burden alongside them. But it's going to be Maz and Dalot for pretty much the remainder of the season, unless we somehow end up signing someone in the January window.
I won't hold your breath, mate.
Yeah. So I just hope none of them pick up an injury, because if they do pick up an injury, we've got a big concern, because we've got no one to actually cover for them, especially Mazraoui. With his impact on the team is way too much right now, I would say. And he is probably one of the only ones who's been very, very consistent with his performances, whether it's as right-sided centre back, whether it's as a wing back. So I just hope, that they can carry on with their fitness levels. I was actually expecting Menu to get dropped in this game and Collier to actually get the nod ahead, because Collier's been very impressive in his cameos against Arsenal, in the last game as well against Southampton. He was very solid. So, and Menu looked, I would say, a bit off it in the past game. Maybe, the game against Arsenal was a 120-minute game, so you could understand why he could be fatigued. But I thought maybe Collier could get the nod ahead in this game. I think in the attack, Ahmad had to play. I think it's a very wise move to actually drop Haaland right now. Give Xerxes a go. He's been looking very good. And in the last game as well, him and Ahmad looked very well as a partnership while we were moving the ball up ahead. So good to see Ahmad, good to see Bruno. Bruno had to play regardless. And yes, I think Xerxes will have a very good game today.
Yeah, I'm happy for Xerxes that he's starting. Well deserved, isn't it, Dan?
Yeah.
Yeah, in last game we have seen like what Hoyland was not able to do. We have seen that when he came on, when Xerxes came on, he just changed everything. And if you can see the whole team is, stepping up when Xerxes came in and everybody was involved. The passing became better. The chances were created more often than ever when Hoyland was there. So I think he deserves a chance because it's. Whatever I've criticized Xerxes a lot. In the sense of fitting him in this particular lineup, but after the last game I've seen like he just brings that spark in the team, and I think hope that works well in the when he starts. I've not seen that when he is the last game when he played, the level he has shown to us. I've not seen that level when he starts from the beginning. So that's what I want to see from this game as well. Like from the very start, he should show that he's well capable of doing things the right way, and can change the game around and just build up the play. The passing should be good from the very start, and I think the especially thing which I could see was he was able to hold the play well and just spray the passes towards the wing side. So that thing was improving. But yeah, Xerxes deserves a chance, and I think he has shown in the last game like how Hoyland should play. So that's where I think he deserves every bit of it, and hope I don't want to see that both the players are struggling whenever they are given chances. So at least at least one player should kick off. Just to become dependable. And Hoyland at this point we cannot depend on him when it comes to like whenever we want to score a goal. But Xerxes coming on in the second half, I can depend on him. But I just want to see more when he is starting the gameplay.
Yeah, I agree. I think confidence is a massive thing going into this. A couple of comments in the chat saying, Chive, good to see Yoro keep his place. Hopefully he puts in a performance today. Random saying Maguire, defo the central centre-back. Yeah, I think, more think about it, I don't know why I didn't say it before, but I think Yoro as the left-sided centre-half makes more sense because I'm pretty sure I've seen him play there before as well, whether he's come on as a sub. I can't remember what game it was, but he definitely did. And Delit's more comfortable as that right-sided centre-half, which we've seen loads of times anyway. So, yeah, that back three is the one I'm looking at. And obviously at times it'll be a back five, but that's what I'm looking at. And that's what worries me in terms of how they win their individual battles when they are fronted with... Because I was looking at Brighton's team then, lads. So they've got Verbruggen in net. They've got Veltman, Dunk, Van Heck, Estepinian as the back four. Yep. They've got Baliba and Ayara in the midfield. And then they've got Minto, Pedro, Mitoma and Welbeck. That's legs. That's players who are dribbling really, really good. That's, really high press. That's going to be tricky. If they can solve that question with a good answer, then I'll be a lot more comfortable. But it seems like the attackers now, Dan, are starting to pick up a little bit more form in terms of Xerxes, Ahmad, Bruno Fernandes. Is that our best three currently, do you think, in your mind?
Yeah, if you see all the stats and wise, the involvement in the goals, you can say that Bruno Fernandes, Ahmad has always been there, and Bruno has been very, playing better. And though we don't doubt his capabilities and his abilities, but we always doubted like how he's gelling well with the team. So that we can see that in this team, he has taken up that on his shoulders and he is playing really well. And Ahmad, you cannot be, there is no words for him to describe at this moment. And he picks himself every time, and every time he's like some or the other, he just pull us out from the trouble. And Xerxes from the last game, he has shown us like everything what he can do. So hope that combination of Xerxes, Ahmad, and Bruno Fernandes works out really well. And because that we haven't been consistent in attack wise, but we have been improving, creating chances. We have been creating chances in each and every game. From the game we started with the City, then Liverpool, then Arsenal, then Southampton. So with all the 4 games, we have seen that even though we have been in the back foot, but we were still creating chances. So that's what has been improved, and we just lack that finishing touch. So hope the players, whenever they get chances, they just take those chances, because every game it just becomes more anxious till the end of the play when we'll be like murmuring about like wasting the chances. And if we could have taken those chances in the last game early on, the game could have been closed very early itself. But now I think that's the only problem. We are well capable of creating chances, but that finishing is that matters a lot, and that's what is concerning me. But we have seen that the finishing from the last game with Bruno, I mean, in the previous games with Bruno and Ahmad, the finishing has been great. With Zirkzee also, I mean, he has tried a lot. I mean, Zirkzee on shots on goals are there improving, but we need to see more clinical finishing from our strikers.
Yeah, not to state the obvious, Shreyas, but there's a big name missing again from the starting lineup, and it's Marcus Rashford. Now, it doesn't look like AC Milan are going to end up signing him. That's basically because of them signing Kyle Walker, I think. I think they're going ahead with that move. So it looks like Borussia Dortmund and Barcelona now are kind of the expected locations. But it's not a surprise seeing him not in there, is it? It just feels like it's his time to go now.
Yeah, it is. And I think the manager has also made it perfectly clear that moving forward, if he wanted to get Rashford back into this team, he would have done it already. If there was even a chance of that actually happening. And we've gone into games against Arsenal, we've gone into games against Liverpool and City without him. So that is something that speaks volumes. And yeah, I think whether it's Dortmund, whether it's Barcelona, I wonder how they pull it off though. But however it happens, I think a move away from United is probably the only way that his future can actually go on, because I seriously doubt that even if he doesn't leave, he'll get any minutes in this team.
Yeah, it's tricky, isn't it? Because you look at the attack, you're like, if he could have just sparked that little bit from him, if he would have just put his head down and kind of, I know it's kind of wishing on a star because we've said it so many times before, but I do feel like there's a player in there. I think he'll be unlocked elsewhere abroad, and obviously it's best for the club, it's best for the manager, and that's absolutely fine. Yeah, look, in terms of as a collective, Dan, we've only won 4 times at home this season. Can you name the wins, do you think, lads, between yourselves, the 4 home wins off the top of your heads? It's difficult, isn't it, right? So
back to back,
no, Fulham, the first game of the season, we beat them. Everton, we beat 4-0 at home. Brentford, we beat 2-1. Which I cannot.
We beat 3-0.
Southampton, we beat obviously recently as well, didn't we? The first fixture was away, but yeah, the most recent one. But the Brentford one, I was looking at, I can't remember that game. Can you use?
That's not in my memory as well.
Yeah. I remember that game.
What game was that? Like, who scored?
Yeah, Rashford got that cross right into Garnacho's feet, and Højlund did that little dink over Flecken. We were trailing 1-0 and we got back into the game and won 2-1.
Honestly, I cannot remember that game at all. Anytime I think of Brentford, I just think, we've always had a tough game, or it's always been like a last-minute winner. I just remember the McTominay one. That's all I remember from it. But the point still stands, doesn't it? Like, at home, why is it so shocking at the minute?
I think that at home, I think we should be the ones who should be playing with more confidence and at the front foot. But for some reason, we allow other teams from the very start of the game to actually, take control of the game.
Yeah.
And when they do that, and we get pressured into our own half, the way we concede, I would say this is actually something that is very important. The way we actually concede, it completely demoralizes the team. Because there have been games where we started the game, it's been 50-50, but in the manner in which we concede the goals, it just completely drains all the energy out of our players. And that's what happened against Bournemouth as well. We started the game, it was pretty, I would say, even, and then they scored off a corner or a set piece, and the entire energy of the game completely shifted. The same thing happened in the game against Spurs as well, that we had at Old Trafford. Started off a bit even, but then they just ran through, scored a goal, and the entire energy of the team just completely goes out. So I think we need to start playing with a lot more confidence, especially at home, because away from home, we've still been decent. So if we can, just channel that energy while we are playing at home, taking our chances, rather than allowing other teams to get the early goal, end up being the, early goal scorers ourselves, the complexion of the game changes completely.
It does feel like we need like a couple of players in done it at the moment, Dan, in January, like just to give us that extra bit of. I feel a lot of stuff feels very stale at the minute. The players look really tired. Just how much effect do you think bringing in a left wing back, for example, a natural left wing back, and maybe like a bit of an attacker, just to kind of give us that extra edge. We need that, don't we?
Yeah, definitely, because we've seen that with the amount of games that we are playing and with the setup, especially with the formation we have, we need kind of at least for each, I'm talking about the defense, midfielder and attack, we should have at least two backups in there, because now itself we are playing a couple of players in the off position with Dallo on the left hand side and Mazraoui also playing somewhere in that position sometimes. So that position already it's there empty, and it's craving for a actual natural left wing back players. And if that player comes in, that totally changes that the whole structure, the whole mentality of the team as well from the left hand side, because now we could see that the most of the confusion that happens on the left hand side, and we need to strengthen that. And also with the players are with uncertainty, with the likes of Anthony has already gone, almost he's out of the club, and then Rashford hanging in the middle, and then Garnacho deal also is hanging in the middle. So with all the deals hanging in the middle, we can say that we need players to come in, and especially we can see that Rashford to some extent he doesn't fit in this system as well. So we need those kind of players who just fits in this system, and we need at least 2 to 3 players to bring in, at least maybe kind of a loan move or something, some or the other, just to hold till the summer, because at this point we are in a very bad state in the season, down in 14th, and then we need to climb the ladder, and we need to improve our winning streak as well. So we need these kind of players, and with the injury also in the second half of the season, the injury will kick start in, because you will get the Europa Leagues and the FA Cups and the Premier Leagues will be playing. So every 7 days you will be playing kind of 3 games. So you need the rotation at high level. So these at least 3 players, maybe at center back, I think we can manage center back area. But with the wing back, especially left wing back, if we can get the proper left wing back, then we are good for the season. Midfield, I think we are still okay with that midfield. We have the backups of Eriksen and Casemiro, and Collier also is coming up. So I think we are good at the midfield. But on the attack side, we are still inconsistent pretty much with the only player that is the 2 players that are consistent are Bruno and Ahmad. But then if you want to rotate them, then you don't have any much options in the bench on the bench, and Højlund also a bit struggling. So I think we need at least 1 or 2 players who are natural positioned in this formation. So at least 3 players, minimum 2. But if we get 3 players, then definitely that will do really good for us to improve this season.
I mean, the sounds that are coming out from many Australians is that they need to let people go before they bring anyone in. Obviously, Rashford's going to be one of them that we've already spoken about. And the other one that apparently is really close is Anthony going out on loan to Batiste. I'm not sure how the financial dynamics are going to work with that, but you'd probably expect that we'd pay half, they'd pay half, which equals probably 100 grand a week that we're saving. They're making as many cuts as they possibly can. But at the same time, would you make the argument that you need bodies at the minute, or would you be happy to sanction a loan to Batiste and maybe try and get? Would they even replace him? Do you know what I mean? Like,
thing is with Anthony, he's barely been getting any minutes. Yeah. To be very, very honest. So whether he stays or whether he goes, the impact is minimal. As far as bodies are concerned in those areas, I think we definitely need them, because we are still in the running for the FA Cup. We're still in the running for the Europa League, and we're still trying to salvage what we can when it comes to the league. And like Dan mentioned as well, we've only got Bruno, Ahmad and Garnacho right now to fill in for those 2 inside 10 positions. And by the looks of it, if Napoli end up offering 65 or 70 million, maybe we end up taking it. Yeah. With the stance that Ineos have had on the Garnacho deal, it's not that he's someone they don't want to let go of. They're actually waiting out on an offer which they deem is acceptable when it comes to Garnacho. So if it does happen and Garnacho does end up leaving, we'll need not 1 but 2 players to actually fill in for those slots, because we've got a lot of games still left in the league. We still got a lot of games in the Europa League. We're still contesting for the FA Cup. And you can't keep on playing Bruno and Ahmad every single game, every single minute. Because if you do that, then they'll pick up a knock or an injury. So you need to be able to actually, rotate them around with someone. So if Garnacho does end up leaving, or even if he doesn't, and we are able to offload Anthony, we are able to offload Rashford, get someone in on loan, get at least somebody in. Because I don't want it to be a situation where Ahmad is doing quite well, Bruno is doing quite well, and then they pick up a knock, they're out for a couple of weeks, and then once again, the performances of the team just go down.
Yeah.
But
Because the
I
only
think
players.
I,
Sorry, go on, Dan.
I think even I was worried when I saw that Anthony is going out, because I don't want to see a player going out and then we are getting no one. But
Exactly
now I
that,
think
yeah.
in this system, in this system, I think Anthony was doing pretty well. I've not criticized him for this, because
Apart from the goal line clearances.
Oh man, don't remind me that.
Yeah.
So, but you have seen that whenever we needed kind of a defensive side of a play, when we are like up with a couple of goals, 1 or 2 goals, then we bring on Anthony just to run around, and to help out in the defense. So maybe as a bench role, he was doing fine. So that's where I'm still not well with. I mean, not getting another player and Anthony. I would not say Anthony was useless to the peak, but I know he was at the bench level. I think he was doing great this season, especially with under Amorim. So, but yeah, then the thing is like with 10 days left, and if you sell players, and if you're waiting for players to go out and then spend few days in sending them out, and then you have to there won't be any options. I mean, the options will be really less, and you will have to only then compensate only for the loan moves, because if you go for a permanent move, then the opponent will be like asking kind of I mean 3-digit numbers for sure. So that all these things you need to keep in mind whether when you are selling the players. But at this point, you know that Rashford is going out. Maybe the only player you can hold off is Garnacho. Still, I think they are just. I mean, still it is hanging on the air, as Shreyas mentioned. Like if you get a good amount, I think Ineos will not hold back from keeping him and let him go. But then again, you get the I mean the exchange for any you will be able to reuse that amount in any other player. I'm not sure about that, but yeah, if we get a couple of players back, and if you are sending Rashford and Garnacho, I'm happy with that. But you need to be very strict on those orders, because that will cause a disaster if that happens. And if you don't bring players in, then all the three competition you will lose. Premier League, already you are in the edge of, I mean, dropping down, and FA Cup, single game can ruin your whole cup run. And then Europa League, it's going to get tougher and tougher when you go ahead in that Europa League, and you need players at the top level of your team. So I'm sure if you do not get a player in, and you're risking all the three leagues, and it's kind of a great humiliation ahead of us.
Which we used to. United have made moves like that before, haven't we? If you are just joining, this is the lineup. Onana, Yoro, De Ligt, Maguire is your back line. Mazraoui, Kobbie Mainoo, Ugarte, and Diego Dalot back inside. And then Amad Diallo, Xerxes, and Bruno Fernandes are the front three today. I'm going to go to the comments, see what people are saying. Again, if you are just joining as well, smash like in the video for us. Subscribe. We're on 11,165 subs currently at the minute. So it takes 2 seconds and it's absolutely free. So if you can do that, that'd be amazing. Random guy saying Maguire. Oh, sorry, we read that out. Andy saying nice to see Xerxes get a chance. Tim saying feeling anxious about their attack. Yeah, I think that their front four, the fluidity and rotation and just their ability on the ball, I think we're going to struggle with that a lot today. Steph saying Mazraoui will protect Yoro defensively and assist Amad offensively. Love that RHS of the team, the right side of the team. United need to score early. 10 minutes would be fitting for our best number 10, Dennis Law. Yeah, of course, lads. Look, none of us are old enough to even. None of us were born basically when Dennis Law was playing football, so it's hard for us to appreciate him as a player. But you don't get a place on the Trinity statue if you aren't some player. Do you know what I mean? Like George Best, Bobby Charlton, Dennis Law are all on there for a reason, because they are significant players. I mean, Sir Alex Ferguson's just come out and said that he's the greatest Scottish player ever, which is like, quite some praise. But it's always sad, isn't it, when a legend dies, Shreyas?
Yeah, it is. And I just hope that, the players today can come out and give him something really good to see, because like you mentioned, he's a legend of the club. He's definitely had a big impact on the club as well during his tenure at the club. And I just hope that, they can give a fitting, I would say, farewell to him in this game.
Yeah.
Because the game's at Old Trafford as well. So there should be something at least show some fight, at least show something positive that some, people can look at and go that at least it's a, fitting way to say goodbye.
Yeah. Danny's got 237 goals in 404 appearances, which puts him third in United's history behind Wayne Rooney and Bobby Charlton. Nothing more needs to be said, does it, really?
Yeah, definitely. And in those times, I think we don't get, the goal scorers, the opportunities that we get today, like Haaland scoring like goals endlessly. Yeah. So in the old times, the scoring goals was very difficult because the game of football was very rash. Kind of a very physically involved game.
The pitches and the footballs that he played with as well was just shocking.
Yeah. The smoothness was not there when you're playing football. So he has scored those goals in a tough time. So definitely that makes a difference, even though he might be third in the positioning. But in that era, I think that makes a more lot of reasons. The appreciation should go to him all because of what he has set up in the in the stats wise, and that will be there for the eternity, I think. Yeah. So that has become a part of our history, and I know that, to be honest, that I have not seen him playing or any videos or anything I have not even heard from any other. I've not even seen of that, but the statue in front of Old Trafford, that says a lot. So exactly. Then it itself just defines what kind of player he was, what kind of person he was. So the total, all the praise to his family members also, because the family actually sacrifices a lot to bring up a player and to support a player in that very moment. But I would say that in today's game, let's get the win and just dedicate that win to Dennis Law. So that would be the best dedication that we can give to him.
And my God, how we could do with the Dennis Law up top today with those kind of goals that he's scoring. You know what I mean? Think about some of the strikers that United have had. Eric Cantona, Ruud van Nistelrooy, obviously Berbatov when he was at the club. Like, you can go through a list of whole strikers. To be third on that list is mega. So yeah, rest in peace to Dennis Law. And like Shreyas said and Dan said, rightfully so, hopefully they can kind of tribute a win to him today. That'd be really, really nice. Not to bring the vibe down even more. Do you know what's depressing, lads? Even if we beat Brighton today, we'll climb
We're still
up
not moving to the top half of the table.
We'll climb up to 11th, 2 points behind them in 10th. That's how shit we've been. How crazy is that?
But on the positive side, I would say, like, we will climb 2 position up, and we will be closer to Brighton, who are next in the line.
It's still it's clutching at straws though, isn't it? A little bit. It's kind of like, well, it'll be close.
It's hard to believe that we're pretty much at the halfway point of the season, and we're still not even in the top half. Like, at least be 9th and 8th, so that we can actually look at it and go, okay, we're still 4 points off the 5th slot, so it's still all right. But when you look at the table right now, and with the way we've dropped points over the past few fixtures, before that Liverpool game, we've obviously dropped a lot of points. So it just sometimes it feels hard to believe, but just looking back at those games, I would say this is still a better position than where we could have actually been, considering the way that we've been playing.
Yeah.
Still being 12th. And if you genuinely looking at the performance against Forest, against Bournemouth, and some other performances as well, I wouldn't have been surprised if we were 14th or 15th. So still, we're salvaging what we can in this.
All it takes, though, Shreyas, is like I've talked about going up the table if we beat Brighton. If we lose to Brighton,
our rivals are right back.
Yeah, Tottenham are playing as well, so they could go straight. We can go back down to 15th very, very easily. Yeah. And I think there's a lot of people, I don't want to speak for everyone in the chat and United fans, but there's a lot of people going into this thinking that Brighton could definitely beat us today because they've been a bogey team for us.
Yeah, for a long time. They've been playing very good football, and the thing with them has been that they draw a lot of games, but when it comes to United and Brighton as a fixture, the last 5 to 6 outings haven't been a draw. It's been a clean result, whether it's Brighton or us winning. Yeah. So, and Brighton have had the upper hand against us, especially at Old Trafford. So they'll be coming into this game with a lot of confidence. And I'm still going to say this, when we face Ipswich at Old Trafford, that will be the game of the season for us.
The 6-pointer, one might call it. But yeah, Brighton are impressive, aren't they, Dan? No matter what kind of situation seem to go in, whether it's a new manager or new players, they just always seem to kind of keep the head above water and play really nice football. You know, if you watch them play under Herzler, how direct they are, how well they press as a collective, as they don't really have like a star player where it's all about him. It's all about each individual in that position, and they're really good in wide areas. They're good between the lines, really kind of intricate play. It's gonna be a tricky test today, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely, because you've seen that whether so many, I mean, kind of the manager changes, but their foundation is the same. They are kind of well settled. Whenever the new manager comes in, they settle very quickly to the new manager's ideas. And the basic thing they do really well, kind of pressing, the passing, and maintaining the structure of the formation. So that those things they do really well. So that's why they don't struggle that much. And also they are kind of it's not like an individual contributor. They are like, as a team they contribute. And even though if we see that even in previous years we have seen that Mitoma was kind of a star player for them, but even when he was unavailable, they were still performing at the same level. So that's what shows like they are, as a team, they are really well settled. But the pace is very scary at the attack side, and especially with the, I think the change of defense that we have made in the formation at the back three. I think that should not be, I mean, hindered with the effect of the pace that they are going to bring in this game. So especially, I mean, with Euro, I think if he plays on the right center back role and playing against Mitoma, so I think that could be another. I mean, I hope that Euro takes that as a challenge and prove all the doubters wrong in this game, especially because that's not there won't be any better platform for him to prove his worth, and playing against, I mean, defending against the trickster player. So the pacey players are there, so you just need to hold on to the defense line, and the formation will be the key to maintain that. But yeah, definitely kudos to Brighton. Also, they have maintained that mid-level table positioning in the consistency basis, and they have created a lot of problem to the top teams as well, the strongest teams. So that's what they can bring up on the table when they are playing a football. So we cannot take it an easy way, but it's going to be a hard way to win this game as well. But you should be on the top of your game today.
But they do have weaknesses, though, Shreyas. Like I said, they do like to press high up. We spoke about this in the preview that we did. So there is space to exploit. But the thing is, are you looking maybe towards Xerxes dropping and playing Ahmad in, or those kind of patterns in this game?
Yeah, I think, look, in the last game, Ahmad managed to bag against them. So that is something that, we can take as confidence or positivity going into this one. But I think the only way we get the better of them, because look, they do concede a lot of goals. They're very proficient when it comes to goal scoring, but they're very leaky. They struggle to maintain clean sheets. And I see goals in this one. Like, at least I see 3 or 4 goals happening in this one, whether it's like a 3-1 result or something, but I still see a lot of goals. I see a clean win, whether it's for us or for them, not a draw, because I think both of these sides are very unpredictable, especially, when it comes to patches in games. Like the one that we had against Southampton, we were very clinical and we were just on point in the last 12 minutes. So I would still say that they're not an unbeatable team. They do have areas where you can actually go and exploit them, especially Weltman and Van Hecke. That side has been very, very compromised in the past few fixtures. So United can look at it, if Bruno and Dalot can double down in those areas, if Mazraoui and Ahmad can double down in those areas as well, I think we can occupy some very good spaces through the course of this game, because they also play a high line. So if we are able to deploy Ahmad or Xerxes in the right moments, I think it will be they'll have a lot of issues.
Yeah, I agree. Right, before we get into the betting slips, before we submit them, I'm just going to go back to the comments, see what people are saying. Connor Atkinson, I don't see, big up Connor, by the way, I don't see how Dortmund or Barca can strike a deal to get Rashford with the wages he's on, so it'll take a miracle. Yeah, Barca, I don't know, they'll probably sell some TV rights, won't they all?
They just go for every top player, and then they don't know like what is their bank balance and what is happening in there.
Just give us Olmo in return. Give us Olmo in return.
Yeah, I'll take that. They'll start doing 50th birthday parties at the Camp Nou or something, just to kind of make up for it, something along the lines of that. Tim saying Brentford gone from my memory as well. I completely forgot about that game. James saying we will lose this, sad to say. I feel the same as well. I do feel the same, honestly. Nice to see Maguire coming back into the lineup as well as Yoro, Manu and Ugarte keeping their places in the team. All right, Shreyas, kick us off first with your betting slip. It's on the screen right now. What do you see happening in this game?
I see us definitely conceding of a set piece because Brighton are very good when it comes to scoring of set pieces. So that is something that will definitely happen. I see Xerxes to get a goal. I see Bruno Fernandes getting a yellow, getting a bit too emotional on the pitch and getting a yellow for sure. And I think Welbeck will get a goal as well. He always manages to bag one against us. So I think Welbeck scores, Xerxes scores, Brighton score off a corner, and Bruno picks up a yellow.
Bruno yellow always seems to be, whether it's you or me or Dan, it always seems to be on someone's kind of betting slip.
Yeah.
Dan, kick us off with yours, mate, as well.
Yeah, the first one I would say, I mean, I don't want, but it's going to end in a draw. Because it's been like we have been really playing really well for the past 4 games. So I think it's kind of it could be a banana slip here against Brighton. So I think it's going to be a draw, but I don't want a draw. That's what I'm just guessing it. And Ahmad will get an assist and one blunder mistake from anyone. I think game is calling for a blunder mistake and one header goal. I think that's what even Shreyas mentioned about the set piece. Maybe from there a header goal.
Yeah, I couldn't find, for some reason I couldn't find the odds on an own goal. I don't know why. I thought that'd be quite easy to find, but couldn't find it on there. I've gone with Mitoma to score or assist because I think our left hand side, our right hand side is going to be a problem.
Yeah,
I think both teams will score. You guys talked about a draw. I can definitely see that happening potentially. De Ligt yellow card if he is on that right hand side for the reasons that I've already mentioned. And I think Brighton, I guess there's my score prediction straight off the bat. I think Brighton will win this game 2-1, just based off evidence and previous games that I've seen and the form and how bad we played against Southampton as well. But,
yeah,
Shreyas, you tell me score prediction and why.
I'll go 3-2 to Brighton. I think, like I mentioned, I don't see it being a draw at all because we never draw with Brighton. And plus the game is at Old Trafford, so they'll be coming into this with a lot of confidence. I think they are very leaky too at the back, so we'll have our moments. So I think we'll score, they'll score. I see it being a high scoring affair, but I think Brighton will edge us right at the end.
Okay. Dan, talk to me.
I'll go with a draw, maybe 1-1 or 2-2. I think I'll go with 2-2 because it seems like goals will be coming more often in this game. But one thing I would like to see is, it's been long like we have scored a first goal in the first 30 minutes. I mean, it's very favorite times we have scored. I would like to see us scoring goal at kind of before 30 minutes or 20 minutes just to build up that confidence. And because it's what happens like whenever we consider a goal and that's what brings us our confidence back into the game and just kick us out of our seats and just then only the player starts playing good. So I think I would like to see a goal from our side first.
Okay. Well, lads, as I'm going to start doing at the end of these kind of shows now, I'm going to just say good luck to you watching it. Good luck to your blood pressure. Hopefully there's no mistakes like Dan mentioned. Hopefully we put that kind of bogey team narrative to the side and we actually put in a convincing performance. But I don't think any of us are going to be holding our breaths, are they? So let's see what happens. Try and enjoy the game. Hopefully it won't ruin the rest of our weekend. And we will have the post-match analysis. Me, Sam, and Chive will be live for that straight after. You already know the situation. So hopefully to see as many of you as possible. If you can, just before you head off and go and watch the game, smash a like on the video for us. Subscribe to the channel. We are on the road to 50k. I'm going to call it road to 50k is what we're saying. So yeah, let's get there. Appreciate every single one of you. And me, Dan, and Shreyas will see you in the next one. See you in a bit.
See ya.